Armies are like those friends who say they don't want to make a big deal about their birthday, but then throw a 3-day festival. They love secrets, but also can't help but brag about their cool stuff, especially when it comes to tanks and planes. Now, you'd think that keeping your military strength a secret would be, good strategy, like hiding your best cards in poker. But sometimes armies actually want everyone to know how strong they are. Why? Well, it's not just about looking tough, it's strategic. Think of it like this. You're a kid with a magnifying glass, and the sun is your army. You can focus that sunlight, your military might, on different spots, your enemies, and make them really uncomfortable. Announcing your strength is like making that magnifying glass bigger and shinier. Everyone knows what you're capable of. Tanks and planes are like the Beyoncé and Jay-Z of military power. They're the headliners, the showstoppers. Tanks are the ground-pounding muscle, rolling in like armored armadillos of doom. Planes, they're the high-flying aces, raining down fire and fury. Historically, these bad boys were the game-changers. Back in World War I, tanks were a brand new horror show on wheels, busting up trenches and changing how wars were fought. And planes? They went from flimsy kites to flying fortresses, dropping bombs and striking fear into the hearts of enemies everywhere. So yeah, having a bunch of tanks and planes is a big deal. And when you've got them, you kind of want to flaunt them a little. It's like having a tricked-out car. You don't just keep it in the garage, you take it for a spin and let everyone hear that engine roar. History is full of examples of armies showing off their military might. Remember ancient Rome? They were like the jocks of their time, always parading their legions through the streets, showing off their shiny armor and fancy weapons. It was a way to say, don't even think about messing with us. Fast forward a few centuries and you've got guys like Napoleon and his massive French army marching all over Europe like they owned the place. They weren't exactly subtle about their strength. And let's not forget the Cold War. The US and the Soviet Union were like two dudes at a weightlifting competition, constantly trying to outdo each other with bigger bombs and scarier missiles. It was a terrifying game of my nuclear arsenal is bigger than yours. So if armies announcing their military strength isn't a new thing, why are they still doing it today? Well, for starters, it's a great way to scare off potential enemies. It's the international relations equivalent of a really big dude walking into a bar and just standing there flexing. But it's not just about intimidation. It's also about sending a message to your allies. It's like saying, hey, we've got your back, we're strong, we're ready to rumble, so don't worry. Reassuring, right? In a terrifying, we might have to use all these weapons someday kind of way. Of course, there's also a healthy dose of ego involved. Let's be real, world leaders are basically just politicians with bigger budgets. And like anyone with a little bit of power, they like to show off. Plus, announcing a big military build-up is a great way to distract from domestic problems. It's the oldest trick in the book. When things are bad at home, point to a scary enemy and yell, look over there. So the next time you hear about some country showing off its latest batch of war toys, remember, it's not just about the tanks and planes, it's about psychology, it's about politics, and it's about the delicate, terrifying dance of power on the world stage.